Richard here, and today I'm vaping on a tank here with the same name as the dripper, and Wotofo has actually released the tank version which holds just about 2 ml in capacity. As you've guessed it, it's TPD compliant. Is that what you call it? I think it is, yeah. Fortunately we don't have that here in Malaysia yet, but I'm sure in time to come with the tobacco boys and all that, everything's going to be 2 ml in capacity in the future. So nonetheless, this is a really nice tank to vape on, except for a few minor cons to it, which we'll come to afterwards. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Sapor RTA by Wotofo. This is a really nice thing to vape on with some awesome flavors, but still I've managed to find some cons to it. It's like I'm trying to look for cons. No, I've got some cons to it which we'll cover later, okay? But otherwise, it's a dual coil tank with velocity style deck, so it's very easy to build on. It's got top airflow, so definitely no leaking there for you. Very, very good flavor. I keep repeating that because it does give you awesome flavor. And the wicking is very forgiving. You've got your juice holes there. Every time you take a pull there, you see it bubbling up. You know your coils in there are getting nice, saturated with juice, and you're not going to get a dry hit. It's a really good tank, despite being just 2 ml in capacity. I know it's a pain in the butt because you know it sucks up juice really fast, depending on kind of resistance you have. I've had 0.4, 0.5 ohm builds. I've used Canthal wire with your standard micro coil builds and also twisted coils in there, and it really sucks up your juice fast, okay? But the good thing is top fill, easy to open, just fill it up 2 or 3 pumps. I think it's full tank. Nice and cute, but you just got to keep refilling it, that's all. All right, like I said, I found a few cons to it which we'll cover in the close-ups. You get to see it, but otherwise it's a really nice tank to vape on. So let's go for close-ups right now. Get down on the board and take a look at this. Come back, we'll vape some more, and I'll leave my thoughts with you. Catch you later. Alright, so here we have the Sapor RTA on the left, but I just also want to show you something really quickly that Wotofo has sent me, which are comp wires, triple core Clapton coils. That's how it looks like. This is the box that it comes in, and I think this is sold in, you know, vape shops separately if you want to buy them. And these are the wires that's used to make the coil. 0.2 plus minus 0.05 ohm per coil, barcode here, and 0.2 ohm. If you have dual coil, it's going to come down to 0.1, which is crazy for me. I wouldn't do that. So these are the tubes that it comes in. 5 tubes in a box, by the way. And once you open up in there, you get your coils, you knock it out, and these are your coils. They're altogether 5 coils in a tube, and these are your triple core Clapton coil, if you can see them. 0.2 each. So let's put it back. Right now let's get to the Sapor RTA, the box that it comes in. Scratch and check as usual. You've got a warning label here, certification markings, and also Wotofo stainless steel. That's what it's marked here. Push comes plastic shrink wrap, of course. You've got this little card that says, thanks for supporting Wotofo. Please use this code to purchase the price at wotofo.com for free. Some kind of promotion they're having, I suppose. Scratch card. And your little instruction guide on how to build and also juice up the tank. And you've got your spare Pyrex glass in here in case you need to replace it. Crack yours here. You have the tank, the Sapor RTA. Get to that afterwards. Underneath the sponge pad, you've got some spare O-rings, grub screws, and also an Allen key. These are some spare coils that they've done, 3 of them, and I think one comes up to about 0.4 ohms or somewhere around there, because when I have to, I get about 1.8, probably 2 ohms. These are your twisted coils and some cotton, basically just that. Let's get to the tank right now. So the Sapor RTA engraving on the chimney cap in there, Sapor. using the same name as the dripper when you first had the dripper out, and that's your top airflow there. So this top airflow, you just got to be very careful when you screw down the tank and you'll close it, so make sure it's always open. And they've got all these grooves here for you to grip, get a good grip. It's a little bit small, this base ring here, so you got to hold it at the end there if you want to, you know, dismantle the whole tank. Wotofo engraving at the back, Sapor RTA, and that's your 510 pin. 510 is a little bit long, it's sticking out, extending out like that. And certain mods, like let's say this one that I've been vaping on, it's okay, it sits flush. It sits flush on all the mods that you have a 510 spring loaded pin in there, but somehow certain mods, they don't, you know, sit flush and you get a little gap there. Like for example, this Inokin Cool Fire 4, you have a gap right at the base there. It still make contact, still work, but it's just that it's a little bit unsightly when you have the gap there. With this smock, which I really like this, I think it looks very, very classy, which I haven't reviewed. I'm going to do a quick review of it one of these days. See, it doesn't sit flush there. Still get that little gap at the base. See that? So certain mods, it's not going to sit flush, but on most mods, like even this bell rod, I've got the tank on it, it sits nice and flush. 22 millimeters in diameter by 40 millimeters from the base here right to the base of the drip tip here, the top here. That's 40 millimeters for you in height, and 48 millimeters all the way to the top of the drip tip. I think from the base of the 510 pin all the way to the top, I think that would be around 53 millimeters in height. So that's the dimension for you. Drip tip, you see the thickness here, don't be fooled by it. Pull it out and you see it's hollow there, which is kind of nice because it keeps heat away from your lips. Your lips is going to be on the outer wall and the heat is going to be contained on just the inside, on this shaft here, which is not going to get to your lips. You have your lips on the outside. Pretty smart idea. Held on by a single O-ring, kind of thick, and it's good. Clip it in. It's not loose, it's nice and snug in there, but at the same time you can still take it off. If you want to, you can put in your own 510 drip tip. That's how it looks nice as well, if you have a black one. So let's put the drip tip back, and it's very easy, although despite the fact it's 2 millimeter in tank capacity, top fill makes it all very convenient. Just open up the top, juice to go in, air to come out. You can actually break down the tank, and that's your chimney here, which reminds me of things like the Gemini, where you have the airflow on top, air goes in from here. You see that gap in at the side here, just along the center shaft. That's where air comes out from here back into the center shaft and into your mouth. Made out of stainless steel, that's the top cap for you. And your Pyrex glass with an O-ring at the bottom there, going up on this ridge here so that you know you don't get any leaking coming out. That's the chimney cap. Your juice flow control. Turn it all the way to the right and you close up the juice hole. All the way to the left, you open it up and you turn it some more. Still open, close, and then it locks in place. And if you turn it all the way to the left, anti-clockwise, you have a chimney cap here. 3 holes on top, 3 holes at the bottom. Those are your airflow holes as well, if I'm not mistaken. So air goes out from here into the mouth, into the top section here. That's your velocity deck. 2 post grub screws, 2 millimeter diameter, so most any kind of wire can go through, no problem at all. And you've got this little guide ring here. I wouldn't remove it. You can if you want to take out the guide ring. They'll probably tell you to do that and put your cotton into the channels here and then put it back, but I find it really difficult after that to try and screw this back down. But I'd rather just leave it in there and just get a tweezer and push it in. And make sure your cotton is just halfway, you don't have to go all the way down, otherwise you might get dry hits. So far with this juice channel, the wicking is exceptionally good. Every time you take a vape, you get bubbles coming out, so it's nice and saturated, no problem at all, no dry hits whatsoever, even with thick juices. Let's put it back. Once you've got your coil done, let's say for example you have your chimney cap put back on and you have your tank here, Pyrex glass tank. So next thing you want to do is get this, put it back, screw it down, put the O-ring back, and after that just fill up your juice, screw the top cap back on again. Now all closed, close. Now you open up your juice flow, fully open, and your airflow, and that's it. Just before I forget, one more thing I want to show you. Nearly missed out on that. This is the tank. It's the same with the other tank as well. So once you've got everything, locked in place, screwed down to your mod, you see it wobbles. This section here, this little gap here, somehow makes the tank wobble. See? The same thing if I screw on the other tank as well. Everything's nice and tight, okay? No problem at all. But when I screw it down onto a mod, it wobbles. You see? For some reason, if I use another mod, it's gonna be the same thing. It also wobbles as well. Have it here. See what I mean? For some reason. So that's it for the Sapor RTA here. Good to see you back on FaceTime, guys. So the Sapor RTA, I'm going to give you my pros and cons, but as usual, just before that, I'm going to take a couple of vapes first. Nice. Very tasty. You can literally taste the juice. Yeah, really nice. So the pros and cons, I'm going to give you the cons first, okay? First, as you've seen in the close-ups, the tank wobbles, okay? So you can live with that, then you're okay. The 510 pin is too long. Wotofo, I think you've got to shorten it down because it doesn't sit flush with all the mods that you have. Some of them, you have that little gap there, so unless it's spring loaded, then you can screw it all the way down, then it sits flush, okay? So that's another con for me. Tank capacity, TPD compliant, no choice, all right? So it's only 2 ml, but I like short tanks, honestly. I don't have a problem with refilling it. I just have a problem with carrying an extra bottle with me all the time. Other than that, spit back, you do get it at times. I got it a couple of times, depending on your resistance. I think if you build it really low, then it's really hot and you might get spit back. So what I recommend, you tilt the coil a little bit so it faces the side of the walls, and when you have spit back, it hits the side of the wall, the tank, all right? So, or rather the chimney cap, okay? So that's another thing. Can't remove the base if you want to tweak your coils, because that chimney cap in there, it might come off with the base. So if that happens, all your juice is just going to flow out. So unless you can find a way to remove it with the chimney cap still attached to the top part, then okay. But other than that, no, you can't remove the bottom and tweak your coils. So those are some of the cons that I have. The pros for this, numero uno, of course, is the flavor. You get exceptionally good flavor. I like the drip tip. The drip tip is designed in such a way, it's got that hollow in the center, so that'll sort of like keep the heat away from getting to the center and burning your lips. Nice drip tip. You can of course change out the drip tip to your own personal 510 drip tip if you want to, no problem with that at all. Nice airflow, the airflow, restricted lung hit, very, very nice. Especially me, I like restrictive lung hit. Not too tight and not too airy as well, just nice. This is not a mouth to lung, okay? You can't do mouth to lung with this because of the way it's designed, the airflow and all that. So chances are it can be rather uncomfortable. You might cough and things like that. So not a mouth to lung. Wicks exceptionally well because, you know, for some reason the way it's designed, every time you take a pull, I notice that it starts bubbling, one bubble. So that means that cotton in there is getting really nicely saturated. So if you have thick juices with the juice holes, you can control the juice hole, by the way, no problem at all. You are not going to get any leaking out of this. And for the juice flow control, it's nice because it has that little lock. Once you just turn it all the way and it locks in place to open and to close. So this is some of the pros that we have. Okay, the pros and cons are done. How much is it? Malaysia, I don't know. This could be a pre-release model that I'm getting. I'm not too sure, but I am sure Vapempire stores are going to be carrying this, probably Vapor Hub as well, things like that, people like that. So I'll keep you updated on the price for Malaysians. I'm going to leave a link once I find out below. And in the US, I also don't know the price as well. So for now, this is the Wotofo, the Sapor RTA. My thoughts are all over the place, excuse me. Sapor RTA, same name as the dripper, and it performs, well, I should say incredibly well, except for, you know, the wobble. Like I said, if you don't mind the wobble, then you're fine with it. I don't know why. For some reason, I suspect it could be that O-ring at the base there, you know, that's making it wobble. So that's the thing. But other than that, the flavor is really, really good. That I can vouch for. So one more vape, we'll call this a wrap. Very good. 2 thumbs up. Thank you so much, Wotofo, for sending this my way for the purpose of this review. And until the next one, until I talk to you again, vape safe, have a nice day. God bless. Bye for now.